All right, let's get right into it. The most intense battles in modern football? Yeah, they are not happening on the pitch anymore. They're definitely not being decided by a last-minute volley. The modern game is literally being won and lost in the boardroom. So in today's Explainer, we are pulling back the curtain on the actual, sometimes harsh, financial realities dictating the sport we all love.
We are counting down the top 5 realities of how billionaires, sovereign wealth funds, and some seriously complex regulations are reshaping the beautiful game. From spectacular corporate collapses to brand new rulebooks, let's break it down, starting our countdown at number 5. Number 5, shady takeovers and debt. To really wrap our heads around the absolute chaos of debt-fueled takeovers, we don't need to look any further than the tragicomic saga of AC Milan. Just look at this staggering number, 740 million euros. Back in 2017, a Chinese businessman named Yang Heng Li bought the club for exactly that amount. But here's the catch. To actually get the deal done, he had to secure a desperate, high-interest loan from an American hedge fund called Elliott Management. Now, Elliott is what you'd call a vulture fund. They specifically loan to entities in crisis, and they are fully prepared to just repossess the assets the second someone defaults. With interest rates spiking up to 24%, yeah, it was a financially doomed situation, literally from day one.
And you can see here just how incredibly fast things unraveled. The takeover barely crossed the finish line in April 2017, but jumped to July 2018, and it was all over. UEFA actually excluded Milan from European competition over Li's shaky financial stability. And it gets crazier. When journalists went to visit Li's supposed business headquarters, all they found was an eviction notice and half-eaten food. No joke. He missed his deadlines, and Elliott Management swiftly repossessed the entire club.
Moving on to number 4, bids without financial guarantees. So if the AC Milan story showed us the extreme danger of bad debt, the recent Manchester United sale proves that some of these modern mega bids, they are pure smoke and mirrors. On one side, you have the hard reality. Sir Jim Ratcliffe successfully acquiring a 25% stake. On the other side, the illusion, Qatari Sheikh Jassim, who is known in SEC filings simply as Bidder A. Now, despite the absolute endless media hype about a multi-billion-dollar buyout, the United board repeatedly asked Bidder A for customary financing commitment letters, actual proof of funds. Well, they never arrived. Bidder A completely failed to provide the required financial evidence and ended up withdrawing entirely. Which brings us to number 3, state ownership and sportswashing. Now, we have to look objectively at the academic research unpacking this highly debated geopolitical strategy. Researchers over at Sheffield Hallam University extensively analyzed the Abu Dhabi United Group's massive takeover of Manchester City. Since 2008, this private equity group, which is operated by Abu Dhabi royalty, has pumped roughly £1.5 billion into the club. That investment completely transformed City into a dominant, unstoppable force. However, human rights organizations heavily criticized this whole operation as a direct attempt by a state to launder its international reputation. The absolutely crucial point here is understanding exactly what this strategy entails. Academics define sportswashing as routing attention away from moral violations by leveraging the emotional, positive associations of sport. It's fascinating, really. Unlike, say, hosting a one-off World Cup, buying a football club means the state actually weaves itself directly into the social fabric of the fans. It creates this incredibly powerful halo effect. Suddenly, the state is associated with a highly successful, beloved football team, rather than human rights criticisms. It's a calculated, long-term strategy.
Okay, number 2 on our countdown, the fan defense shield.
This one dives into the psychological realm where fan loyalty actually acts to legitimate controversial ownership. Just look at this quote. This is from an actual Manchester City fan forum. When the club was facing over 100 charges of breaching financial fair play rules, the fans didn't turn on the owners. Not at all. Instead, they essentially viewed the charges as a massive witch hunt. As you can see, they aggressively dismissed media scrutiny, choosing to lean entirely into the incredible on-pitch success that the financial investment bought them. Researchers actually broke down the specific discursive tactics that fans use to defend their clubs, and it's super interesting. They use expert authority to openly praise the business acumen of their owners. Then there's instrumental rationalization, basically arguing the owners are just making sound, logical business decisions. They also heavily rely on delegitimating critics, writing off journalists or watchdogs as biased or jealous. And finally, moral analogies, which is essentially asking, hey, look at what rival owners are doing, why aren't they getting punished? The fans themselves literally become active vocal shields for the club's financial realities. And finally, we've reached number 1, the new financial rulebook.
With extreme wealth and these shady takeovers actively threatening the stability of the game, authorities have finally engineered a massive systemic solution. The old profitability and sustainability rules, or PSR, which you all know basically looked backward at financial performance over a rolling 3 years, those are officially being scrapped. Starting in the 2026-27 season, the Premier League is shifting to a brand new era of real-time, in-season financial monitoring. And the whole goal here is to stop clubs from basically spending themselves into oblivion.
The first major pillar of this new system is the squad cost ratio, or SCR. Take a look at the limits mapped out here. For clubs not competing in Europe, their total on-pitch spending, and by that we mean player and coach wages, plus transfer fees, will be strictly capped at 85% of their football-related revenue. What this does is it completely separates on-pitch from off-pitch costs. It gives clubs the commercial freedom to invest heavily in stadium upgrades or academies, but it places a hard absolute ceiling on what they can spend to buy success on the grass. Then we have the second pillar, the Sustainability and Systemic Resilience Framework, or SSR. This is a rigorous, real-time health check, and it requires clubs to pass 3 very strict tests. First up, working capital. They have to prove they have at least £12.5 million in immediate cash headroom. Second, liquidity. They literally have to survive an £85 million stress test just to prove they won't immediately go bankrupt if they get relegated. And third, positive equity, basically ensuring their liabilities don't outweigh their assets. Fail any of these, clubs are going to face severe points deductions right smack in the middle of the season. Which leaves us with this final lingering thought. We have seen exactly how money has warped the landscape, right? From vulture funds eating up historic clubs to sovereign states leveraging deep fan loyalty. The Premier League's new rulebook is basically the ultimate countermeasure. But you really have to ask yourself, will these strict new systems actually level the playing field to save the beautiful game? Or, by capping spending based strictly on revenue, do they merely protect the established cartels of modern football, making it basically impossible for a new challenger to ever rise to the top again? That is the ultimate reality we are waiting to see unfold. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.